Initially, unless you have a lot of rain or some really dry days, you could probably do every other day.
Okay.
Because especially once the plants are larger and they're drawing more water in, if it's dry, you'll definitely need to add water every couple of days. And then once you add the beetles, you definitely want to come every day to, check on life stages, and then once the larvae hatch, to make sure that they're not escaping.
Are you finding that you have to water the plants, or are they drawing the water moisture up through
They're definitely
the pool?
drawing it up, and some of them, this one you can see, they start putting roots out through the bottom of the pot. So they've only just started.
Oh, yeah.
But towards the end of the season, they'll just have a bit of, For these pools, for measuring the water, because they're still on a slope, we've just been measuring several points. The main thing is that you want your shallowest points to be at least 2 inches deep at all times. And when it's on a slope like this, we tried to sort of split the difference. Last year there were a few that were really sloped, so a little under 2 inches, so that the deeper ones were really over 4. But that's why it's really important to have the pools as level as possible, so you don't have to worry about that too much, and everything is sort of as even as possible, so all your plants are about the same. We pinch the terminal buds on these plants to encourage lateral growth of leaves, just to make sure that the plants are as bushy as possible. So we want the plants to be ideally a foot, but we sort of fudged a little bit on some, and if they're at least 10 inches, we figured that's good if they seem to be doing well. So this one is at 16 inches, so it's more than fine. But we really just look for this top leaf cluster. So, there's going to be a few little leaves, and just pinch them off. And so we'll do that. You might not wind up doing all of them on the same plant all at once, just because of height differences. So it'll be pretty easy to tell when you come back later, because it will have that pinched off look. And last year we used data sheets to record all of this information, but this year we're doing a notebook. So this can be helpful if you have volunteers helping you monitor your facility. So like for this one, I have a little setup for a little README page. So what they'll see when they're going to enter the data, and then some bullet points of what type of information that they should include. And what we've been doing is recording the date and the time of day, the names of whomever is checking the facility, so you can track back if anything funky happened, or just to get more info. And then also any actions taken and any additional comments. So note that you say recorded the water levels, whether you added water to the pools, if you bailed any out, measuring the plants, how tall the plants are, especially for this first session, because we don't want to pinch the buds until the plants are at least 10 to 12 inches tall. So if you're tracking how tall they are at what point, and then in future years, if you do it multiple years, you can use that to plan for next year. And then just any comments about what the plants are doing, how they look, if something strange was going on, so you can sort of pinpoint if something goes wrong or what's going right, and sort of get your best results for future years. When you're dumping your pools, you want to make sure that you support underneath, because the plastic gets brittle if it's out in the sun for a season, and just the weight of the water can bend and crack it. Scrub brush. would also probably work just as well, if not better.
Yeah.